we'll start with a couple questions for Dr. Ostergaard here. Are there many winter cultivars in Europe that are marketed as reduced shattering? If so, are the traits derived through tilling mutagenesis approaches like you have described in your presentation?
Thanks very much for that question, Sally. Yes, so there are cultivars that are marked as reduced shattering, but the genetic basis for those is not known as far as I'm aware. So far, we have not been involved in providing any of our material that has been developed by Mutagenesis to breeding companies to take up this approach so far. But I would certainly imagine that in the future it will be an interesting way for companies also to go in using this material, or indeed, CRISPR lines as well. As we know the candidates very well, candidate genes, we can certainly now go in and CRISPR some of these candidate genes and hopefully get an effect that way.
Great, thank you. I got a few more for you here as well. Have you ever thought about doing a screen to identify genes that regulate IND expression in response to temperature?
Yeah, that's a great question. Indeed, that is a plan with this bigger with this bigger experiment that we're doing, where we are doing the GWAS analysis, and I think so the trait that we will use for the GWAS will indeed be expression of the IND gene in response to temperature. So yes, that is exactly what we're trying to do. Thanks for that.
Thank you. I've got a question here that probably fit well at the time, but maybe it's pertaining to one of the slides. I'm sure it might make sense to you now. What growth stage would these have been at after 12 weeks, pod fill or at an earlier stage?
Yes, so I guess Dan is referring to the vernalization experiments where we vernalized them for 12 weeks. So these plants were put into the cold room, into the vernalization temperature at the seedling stage. So I don't remember exactly how many leaves they had produced at that time, maybe 4 or 6 pairs of leaves at that time. So they wouldn't develop much during that time in the cold. Certainly not the 5-degree ones. The 15 degrees, they did grow further during 15, but yes, so they hadn't flowered yet, certainly at that point.
Thank you. And I think we've got one last one for you here. Did you observe any differences in shattering between cool and warm weather conditions?
Yes. So yes, that's right. So that's what the experiment was, to test them for shattering at different growth temperatures and also different vernalization temperatures. And yes, we did see that the warmth was inducing shattering more than the cold. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you to the speakers.